Hi, good morning. This is Garrett Willie and James Griffiths up here on the gym at the Calvary Baptist Church in Roy. And we're looking at it. We didn't have access to the inside the attic, but I want to show you guys a couple of things that need to be addressed. One is we've looked underneath the eaves in several locations at the gutters, and the plywood was pretty good. It's OSB, which is the oriented stranded board, which is like a chip board, kind of like sawdust glued together. It's expanded a little bit along the edges, and that's because it's gotten a little wet. So how we solve that is actually meeting current building code, and we put a starter metal on that. So that's just a given that we would do that. The other couple of things we want to talk about up here is on the south side. Actually, this is kind of strange. Typically the north side has more moisture type damage, but on the south side of the building, it might be hard to see. It really is. Maybe James, if you go stand over there. It's kind of dips down around here where he's standing. It's a little soft right there. So we're thinking maybe about 10 sheets of plywood would be good to budget on this, so that we can replace some plywood around here. And maybe there'll be a couple of edges that we can't see because we can't inspect every single edge. We'd have to have a 40-foot ladder, and it would take us hours to inspect all of it. But some of the stuff you see when you expose it. But we believe about 10 sheets of plywood would be a good budget for that. If we don't use it all, the customer doesn't get charged at all. If it's more, well, then there's additional costs. So there's that. The next biggest thing is ventilation. There's a lot of bird blocks, which are those little holes underneath the eaves, under the gutters there. So I feel pretty confident if we did the math on that, and it gave us about 1.5 square inches per hole, that we would have plenty of intake, because it goes all the way around all four sides of this gym that we're standing on. So there's going to be plenty of intake, but what happens is when they have these multiple layers of AF50s, which are these little plastic turtle shell looking vents, they have it in the middle and up on top. So if the air comes in down there and it exhausts here, it never gets to the top. Or what typically happens in this situation is that this creates another intake point, so we don't have proper airflow going through between here and the exhaust up there. Either way, you don't want to have intake in the middle and exhaust in the middle and up at the top. That completely defeats the purpose of having exhaust. Now, what they were thinking here is they wanted to have enough exhaust, because typically exhaust goes up towards the ridge, the very top cap of the roof, which is this right here. And this is only about 20 feet long right here. So there's not enough space to actually have nearly enough of that net free area calculation for exhaust to meet building code, which is 1 square foot of opening for every 300 square foot of footprint of the building. So on this upper part of the gym, I'm gonna have to do some math and go back and look at it and run a calculation. But I believe if we put 3 power vents up here, it would create enough suction of air that it would just run, and they would be able to suck the air out, and you'd have the airflow that you need so that the roof lasts its full term or longer, and that the building doesn't get damaged from moisture within. With improper ventilation, it's one of the #1 causes that we have here in the Northwest for premature failing of roofs and mold and biogrowth in the attics, because the attics don't stay dry, because humidity and moisture ends up getting captured up there. That's another reason why having the double layers of vents about 10 feet apart, it creates pockets of air that can capture moisture in the attic space, hence causing the same problem. So that's where we're at on this, and we'll put this video on YouTube so that other people can learn from it about ventilation, and we can send it to the customer as well. Garrett Willie and James Griffiths with Do It Right Roofing, we're here to help you. Thank you guys. Bye.